Saturday. What are your thoughts and impressions?
They're the defending Ohio Valley Conference champions, and you shoot 31% makes it tough to win, especially when your energy on the defensive end is predicated on whether you're making shots, and that's really what happened. This weekend's games, Belmont, you start down 17-0 to start the game, and then at TSU you start 13-0 down to start the game, and you miss a couple of easy shots early, and then everybody's hanging their heads on the defensive end, and that was the problem. And then we sub in 5 people a few minutes into the game, down 13-0. The energy level completely flips. It's something that we may need to look at making changes to the starting lineup. But we started well, really every game since before Christmas, with the possible exception of the Moorhead game. We didn't start great in that game, but these last 2 games, just energy level, defensive focus we rely on making shots in order to be focused, and that's not the way it's supposed to work.
What are some of the matches you'll face against Eastern Kentucky?
They may have the best player in the league in Jalen O'Bannon. Does a tremendous job, leads the league in rebounding, averages, puts up 17, 18 points a game. She can do what she wants athletically. She's a phenomenal athlete. As a post player, can handle it, go the length of the court, put it on the floor, and get to the rim. They have a senior veteran point guard in Michaela Hunter, who's not shooting it great this season, but has been a great shooter throughout her career. They have kids that can knock down the three. They have people that can beat you off the dribble. And I hadn't even talked about Murray, who's one of the best players in the league, preseason all-conference players. So very, very tough team, especially at home. They play with tremendous energy at home, and we're going to have to go in. We're going to have to be more focused. We're going to have to play 40 minutes. We played 35 minutes against TSU, and it was enough. We really fought, did a nice job after the big deficit. We came back, we took a lead at the end of the third quarter, and just felt like we kind of were fatigued and worn out, just having to overcome the hole we dug ourselves. So that made it tough. We can't do that against Eastern Kentucky. There's no doubt, because they'll bury you fast.
The new rules where they reset the team fouls at the beginning of each quarter seems like it's made the game significantly shorter. Do you like that?
It goes along with the quarters and the changing all the rules to match the professional rules. So I don't necessarily disagree with it. I think it's cost us some free throw opportunities, but it's probably kept the other team off the free throw line as well. It has reduced the number of free throws attempted and shortened the game. As a fan, I don't know if the fans enjoy it more or less, but the rule change has done what it was supposed to do, which is speed up the game. That was the plan. So it has done that. Other than that, I really don't have an opinion on whether I like it or not, because I'm not sitting and watching the games as a fan. So you tell me, Will. Do you like it? All right. Then it works. Call the NCAA and tell them they did something right.
With that last game, obviously the big deficit, what did you do to kind of get the rest of the team on track to make that big comeback?
Yeah, it was just energy level, and it came from that second unit went in and did a really nice job playing with energy, got some baskets in transition, made a couple of shots, and we fed off that. And then after that, we settled down and did what we were supposed to do defensively. Did some nice things. It just wasn't enough. And then, you look at the stat sheet, you shoot 31%. It's going to be awful tough to win a game on the road against a defending conference champion. You shoot 31% from the field. That's just fact of the matter. And that's what we shot in both games on the road this past week, and it has to be better. But that should not affect our defense like it did at the beginning of both games, really, at the beginning of those games. Your defense should not be affected by that.
You said that it seems like both games, after the Belmont game, after the Tennessee State game, you said the same thing. And that second unit coming in against TSU, providing some energy, does that play in the fact that maybe some of those players in that second unit get a lot more playing time going forward because of that energy they provide?
It depends. If they continue to provide that energy, they will. possession by possession thing, and there's a reason that Keyshawn James and Leasia Wright, I mean, they're all conference players. KJ was leading the conference in scoring. She's still averaging 20 points a game in conference after having a 7-point game and a 4-point game in back-to-back games. There's a reason that she's that player, and that's not all of a sudden changed. She just had a couple of bad games, and it just happened that they both had bad games at the same time, which is not good for us. It wouldn't be good for any team to have their two best players struggle from the field like they're struggling right now. Combined, they're our two best shooters field goal percentage-wise, 3-point field goal percentage-wise, and these last two games, they've really struggled. I think they shot 26% combined between the two of them these last two games, where they're normally in the mid-40s. So, that makes it tough. But those players that went in and did their job and played with energy and focus, they definitely will see increased playing time. We lost Casey Fountain in the Belmont game. She was getting ready to move into that 20 minutes a game range because of the job she'd been doing lately. And then at TSU, Daniela Pisano stepped up and had a nice game. So, maybe we can get some energy there. I thought that Lexi Cassell went in at TSU, played extremely hard as a post sub, did a nice job. Jasmine Borders played with a lot of energy, didn't get a lot of done production-wise, but gave us a lift energy-wise. So, we're looking at all those things and evaluating them, and we'll get through practice today and see if that carries over. And hopefully we have some, renewed energy and, just a different outlook. I felt like our team really felt like they let one get away at TSU. Belmont, we just didn't show up pretty much for the entire game. But at TSU, they really felt like they let an opportunity get away that could have been a big win on the road against a defending conference champion. So, we've got to come back. We've got a very tough place to play on the road. EKU just beat Martin at their place. They're undefeated at home, so it's going to be a tough deal there for us.
What do you tell players like James and Wright when they've been struggling the last couple of games to get them back on track for the rest of the season?
Well, they have to. You have to settle down and be who you are, and let the game come to you, and not try to force the action. I think great players take what's there. They don't force things, and when you force things, you have a tendency to get yourself into trouble. And that's kind of what happened. That's kind of led to some turnovers, some bad field goal attempts. And the other thing is, in 2 games, those 2 players between them had a combined 2 free throw attempts in 2 games. And they have to get to the free throw line. To be an effective scorer, you need to get to the free throw line. All great scorers do that. So, and between them, the last 2 games, 2 free throw attempts total. So.
What about you don't have the Death Valley trip anymore? You missed that, or just one game?
Nah, I kind of missed that, to be honest with you. I would prefer, I've made it no secret, I prefer to play everybody in the league twice. And on the women's side, and a lot of people don't pay attention to it, but we don't have divisions anymore.
Right.
So there is no seeding based on division. There's no win your division and come second in your division and get in the tournament. It's just the top 8 teams, the 8 best records. So I would prefer that Eastern Kentucky have to come to Murray State and TSU have to come to Murray State and us have to go to Moorhead, and but it is what it is right now. But I kind of miss that. It was a neat trip. It was something that I think fans got into, and I think that the way we do things now kind of hurts the fan experience, to me. But that's just a personal thing.
Is there any discussion on changing that, or does there seem to be a consensus that it's fine?
No, we talked about it as a group on the women's side, head coaches. We've talked about trying to get back to playing everybody twice. But, I think ultimately it comes down to how many non-conference games do you want to have? Like right now we have 12 teams in the league, so you're talking about playing 22 conference games. And everybody says that's a really long season, which it is. But it also gives you 11 guaranteed home games. And we all know in Murray how tough it is to get home games. So, I prefer that, but everybody has different opinions on it.